I'm on YouTube.
Oh, it says
You're
it.
on. Yeah.
Okay, good, 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 good.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So let me go ahead and start this. All right, so we are on. We are live on YouTube and we are live in our Facebook group, which is good. Um, so
And good
yes,
morning.
I'm and good morning.
And
So
good
yeah,
morning.
I'm in a different environment. I'm back home in New Orleans right now. It feels really good. I'm in the yard, which has like this little garden over here with benches, and I'm just looking forward to to enjoying the day. Nice weather. Yeah. And
Good.
we'll share you to say it's snowing by you. So I don't miss that at all right now.
I don't blame you. I
Yeah,
don't blame you.
at all. Okay, so we were talking earlier about what we wanted to discuss today, and you had came up with something that is cool. So yeah, so let's talk about it.
So, I mean, as we all know, the world is
Oh, we
in,
lost your video.
oh, hang on. Okay.
Okay,
Hang on. Am I back?
you're back.
Sorry. Okay. So, as we all know, the world is not in the greatest of shape right now. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and it affects people all kinds of different ways. People handle it differently. And some of the things a lot of the things that you and I do, everything that we try to do is we want to keep fitness and wellness and health and always in the forefront of everything that we do.
Yeah.
With the things that have been happening lately, I mean, everybody gets affected differently by different things. But if it really ends up being something that bothers you, like oftentimes it is with me, it's very difficult to stay on track because the way you feel leads to these not necessarily the best behaviors that help us when we're trying to stay healthy.
Right. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I was thinking about it this morning, and I was thinking, well, we have to try to discuss some things that we could do in place of the bad things that we tend to do when we're stressed and we're overcome with these emotions, really based on outside influences that we can't do anything about.
Mm-hmm.
If it's your own things that are happening in your own life, you have more control over it. But when you don't have control over outside interferences and things that are going on in the world, you really don't have control over it, but it doesn't make you feel any better about it. And so you can tend to go to these behaviors that we don't want.
Yeah. And you have to be able to choose your behaviors, right? So like for instance, instead of when let's say I'm feeling particularly angry, but it's like a violent sort of energy, I go right to the gym and go like on the bag, or I do some bag work or something like that. Like I do something that gets my body in a stage where it's fighting against like the stressors, and that it helps me, like at the end of, let's say, a bag session, or doing a Muay Thai or kickboxing, I feel better at the end of it. Or like if you go for a long run or hike, even, can be really clearing. Meditation, again, I've been talking about meditation, I feel like, all month. But meditating, things like that, going internally, hanging out with a loved one, to somebody who's going to be positive. Sorry, I keep doing this in my eye, but it's like I feel like my allergies in this one eye. I don't know if it looks swollen or not, but like in this one eye, I'm like, ooh, this eye.
And you've got different stuff going on down there. You got different flowers, different blooms, all kinds of stuff that are probably.
And unfortunately, this is home, but I have not lived here such a long time that it's like my body's probably like, what are we going through? But it's just on one eye though, which is annoying. It's not both. But anyway, and I didn't bring my allergy medicine, so.
Oh, great. Great.
But yeah, those are the kind of things that I do. I know a lot of people tend to stress eat, and I think Sharon, you were actually by my house one time when some stuff happened, and I immediately, right? You saw, like, immediately I was like, I want to eat something.
Yes. Yeah.
right?
And that's
But
common. That's so common. So that's the thing, especially that, because I'm like you. I can go for a walk or I can jump around or I listen to music. Music helps me tremendously. I
uh,
can't believe, I mean, music just, I turn on something that I really, really like, and that helps me. Also, I pray, as you
yep.
know.
Mhm.
So that also helps me tremendously. But the eating thing, that's, I mean,
Yeah.
some normally I can get that under control. So I'm thinking if you and I have difficulty with it,
Mhm.
I can imagine with the people that maybe don't aren't as into or trying to get into health and fitness the way we
Right.
are on this, how they're dealing with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a practice, and it's something that one I think the important thing is to recognize when you're going through like a stress induced hunger, or or some other kind of like stress induced negative behavior. Excuse me, jeez, miss my eyes, my voice. Include, my God,
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know. It
Is
was
there
me
a
trying to
frog
talk.
in there?
It was me trying to talk louder and a frog getting stuck. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Do you see what I'm going through?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but what I was gonna say is that, other behaviors such as like drinking, right? You hear people say like, I want to drink, give me
Yes.
a shot. I've been going through something. I need something to relax, or like, smoking weed or something like that. It's like, you're doing these things and they may help you in the moment, you know, but there are long-term repercussions. And I'm not saying that to advocate against like drinking
No, no,
or
right.
anything like that. But I
Right.
am saying just as, just to bring to light that we have to be aware of what we're doing, why we're doing, and how much of it we're doing, and whether or not it's going to always keep that I would say keep your health goals in mind. Is this helping you or is it hindering you? Is it going to be an obstacle for you to get to where you want to be at, the result you want, or is it going to get you closer to that? Both your long term and your short term, right? So in the short term, do you want to feel less stress? Is the thing that you're doing going to help you feel less stress? And is in the long term, is you doing this one thing going to help or hinder your and in Fitting Lifers, we say like your journey towards life mastery and life excellency, right? Through health and wellness and fitness and all of these things that we're doing, our mind body motto here. But is it going to help or hinder you to get to those goals? And if the answers to both of those is yes and yes, then you go for it. But take a solid look at answering those questions. I think just stopping and asking yourself those two questions is going to help make a lot of decisions, or at least it's going to help you make the better decisions more often than you make the decisions where you're like, nope, today I just want to indulge. And that's okay too. We don't make habits out of it.
Well, I was just going to say, I think it all goes back to habit change to a really large degree. But the thing is, the difference between, okay, I want to do this and I'm going to do this because it's just something that I feel like I need to do to relieve stress.
Yeah,
And
well, I think
it's not necessarily the best way.
anytime we have an impulse, you got to question that. Like, what's even driving that? Like sometimes you have thoughts in your mind and you wonder like, who's even thinking these thoughts? Like they just kind of implant there, and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
where did that come from? You
Yeah.
know, I think anytime you have an impulsive kind of thought where you're like, oh, I just have to do this. It's almost like a compulsion sort of thing. You gotta question. I mean, you gotta just be inquisitive. I think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I really think that if you live your life questioning, is this, where's this thought coming from? Do I just have to do it? And what is that about? Is it my body
Right.
trying to tell me something? Like where's that coming from?
And probably if it's an emotional reaction, and we all know if it's an emotional reaction, because if you're getting angry, you're getting angry, right?
Mhm.
If you're getting sad, you're getting sad. That's probably the time, once you recognize that you've got that emotion, that's the time to examine and get it under control before it gets past that point.
Yeah. I mean, what's the Sharon, what's like the dumbest thing that you've ever done when you've gotten to a place where you were upset?
Oh gosh, probably just it's either eating or drinking everything in sight because that's usually where I go. I don't like go out and, drive my car recklessly or anything like that. So I tend to go to something that's easy. So it's always easy to grab food or it's always easy to grab alcohol. So either or, that's generally where I would go.
I remember I was really upset with something and I like took my laptop, not this one obviously, and like threw it across the room, broke the laptop, had to buy a new one, and it's a dumb, it's dumb. It's dumb.
Well,
Right.
even
Like,
eating and drinking to excess is really dumb because then you
yeah,
don't feel good the next day. It's stupid.
right. You know what I mean? Making these decisions that's not helpful for you. In the long term, in the long term, did that decision bring me closer to my goal of life excellency? No, because it took away from my money,
Right.
which is huge to my financial health. And my financial health is huge to my overall well-being, which means that it's a wellness issue. Okay. So
Yeah.
had I had that thought, I wouldn't have done that. I mean, it was years ago, younger version of me doing dumb things, but still in all, we have those moments and we have to think about them. It works for many different things. Do I want to, drink all the alcohol in the entire cabinet and risk maybe death? No,
Right.
no. Do I want to do that long term and risk organ failure? No.
Right.
Maybe short term occasionally. I feel a little bit better right now. Okay. Tomorrow is a new day.
Right.
You got
And
to
that's
put
the
things in
thing.
perspective.
I think all of the emotional reactions that we tend to take end up having long-term effects if we don't get them under control. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, anger, like the anger that you exhibited that one time, can lead to a lot of really bad things, right? Over drinking and overeating can lead to a lot of bad things. Screaming at your kids, just using that as an example, because you're really upset over something, that can have a really bad reaction, emotional reaction on them as well as on you. So it's like every single negative emotion that we react on badly
Yeah.
has an adverse effect.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, when you're going through trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, whether or not it's in your personal life or it's in the world around you and you're experiencing this trauma, I would say that the message really is figure out what your coping mechanisms are, and are they help, and ask yourself if they're helpful to your long-term and your short-term goals, or are they harmful. Because the world because Coach Sharon, you're absolutely right. The world is going through a lot, and the world has been going through a lot. For many people, their entire life has been just huge you know one huge ball of stress and
Yeah.
and unnecessary trauma. you know um and so we have to learn how to deal with that rather than implode and self-destruct, right? Which is also another thing that we do. We say, you know what, I must be deserving of this kind of a world where this is what's happening around me, or this is what's happening to me. But we can really only control our reactions to things, and do our part in, do our little part in changing whatever we can around us, or imparting some change, influencing what's around us. And influencing ourselves to do better. It's the only thing that we can do, and relinquish some of that control so that we don't have that anxiety of, I expected this, but this is what I got. you know
And that was I mean, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about it all week, but for a while, but especially this past week. And I thought it might be something good to talk about so that people could understand that. Take a look at these things beforehand because you know how you're feeling about things. Examine yourself, examine your reactions to what's going on around you, and
Yeah.
identify your coping mechanisms, your reactions to those things, and really think about them so that you can change them or
Yeah,
work toward changing them.
absolutely. Absolutely. Coach Sharon, what kind of time do we have? I haven't been
We
keeping.
are, it's been 15 minutes. It's been over 15 minutes, like it always is. Yeah, we're out of time. You know what time it is? It's time for you to go and enjoy your family. That's what time it is.
Oh, my family's nowhere to be found right now. That's
Oh,
tomorrow, but I am gonna go on a walk though. I'm gonna walk to the park, which is about a mile and a half away. Then do some workout while I'm at the park, and then walk back over here to where I'm staying. So yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Go get some protein shakes so I don't sabotage myself in New Orleans, eating every night and every every meal eating out.
oh man, you know what? Have some of that
I still
yummy
gotta fit in
Cajun
that
food for me.
bridesmaid dress.
Ooh, well, I'll tell you what. When's the wedding?
The wedding's Saturday. I got 2 days. I'm currently fitting in it. It's like one of these hip hugging mermaid style
Oh
things.
yeah.
You can't gain an inch or a half an inch or a quarter. You can't gain anything. You can't be bloated on the day. I just need to cleanse I mean, it's gonna be a lot of protein shakes. I feel like yeah, it's gonna be a lot of protein shakes and a couple of solid healthy meals in between, but it's gonna be mostly probably the protein shakes are going to be the majority of my meals for today and tomorrow.
Oh man. Well, when are you coming back home? Tuesday, right?
Mhm.
Okay. You got to promise me that after the wedding on Sunday, you're going to go out and have the most unbelievable Cajun meal and think about me while you're doing it. Cause I
Will
love
do.
Cajun food.
Will do.
The best rice and beans you could get, the best spicy Cajun, whatever that you can get.
Got it. Now I'll have to take some pictures and put in the group.
Do that, please.
Will
Do
do.
that.
All right. As always, it's always a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, we will talk soon. Thank you for the
Yeah.
day. Talk Tuesday, guys, with Coach Sharon and
Thanks.
Coach Brandy Nick.
Be good,
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.